Big man.
Thank you very much. Great to be back. We've been sponsoring and been involved with the Ecosummit for 5 years, and this is definitely the most excited I've been to actually get on a plane and be back in front of everybody, so it's good to be here. And well done, Jan, for putting on a great show. I think it was Jim Collins who said that great vision without great people is irrelevant. I'd go so far as to say that you're here mostly either to look for money or to deploy money. And I think that without the right money and the right people, you're more likely to fail than succeed. So our vision at Hyperion is to work with clean tech startups and scale-ups to find the right people to enable them to succeed with their missions. My background, very briefly, I spent a lot of time doing international search in various different technologies up to about 2007. And then I actually started a solar EPC company in the UK, which was interesting that long ago with just how much the cost obviously were very different. But we built that business very successfully, and that's where I fell in love with clean tech. But I got to a point thinking, well, I love the technology, I love what we can do with clean tech, but surely my skills from 20 years as a headhunter can be better used. And at that point, I created Hyperion Executive Search. So, as Jan said, many of the companies both here today and over the years are companies that we've helped to build. Very early on, we were working with Christoph at Zonand to help support as they moved into the UK. Ubertricity, a long-time exhibitor here, we've built teams for them in France and in the UK. Hyperion were on before, Electricia were on before. So we work primarily with fast growth, post-investment, scale-ups and startups, normally after about rounds A, B, C, D. So relatively early in the journey. I need to actually put another slide because I'm worried that some clients might be here and spot that not on there. But after 7 years, we've been working with an awful lot of organizations in this space. One of the things which I think is quite unique is we actually work with a lot of VCs who clearly likewise believe that you need the right people as well as the right money. So VCs and funds like IP Group, who we'll be speaking on later on today, MVP, not here this year, I don't think, but obviously introduced us to Electricia. InnoEnergy, actually, again, I first met at Ecosummit, I think, in London. We're now their preferred supplier for helping them to hire C-level talent for their portfolio companies. And in the US also, Vision Ridge is a company that, or a PE fund, that we work with both directly into their portfolio companies and actually directly on behalf of Vision Ridge. So we work very closely with both the startups, founders, entrepreneurs, and we work very closely with the VC funds and PE funds that support and fund them. Again, what I think makes us relatively unique is the fact that 95% of our clients are exactly what I say, post-investment startups. So we do work with some corporates. We work with LG Chem and SMA and QCells and various other big entities, but the vast majority are post-investment startups, which means we really understand what it is that the challenges that are faced by founding teams as they look to scale. Going on to that second point, that 90% of the assignments we work on didn't exist before we hired them. So very typically, it's the founding team realizing we've got some capital, we've got a business plan, we need to deploy. What we don't have is a CFO or a head of engineering or a head of sales or some kind of executive strategically important hire. So we work with them not just to actually find the individual's concern, but actually to look at what is it exactly that you do need. Is it a CFO or is it a COO that you're actually needing, for example? Sometimes that's a conversation that's to be had. And then help to actually define the job descriptions and look at what the market conditions are. Another factor is actually in internationalization or growth of territories. So we work with an awful lot of US companies that have moved to Europe and vice versa in helping put those first boots on the ground. So far this year, we've worked in over 15 different countries, from Scandinavia through to Italy, across to Spain, and across to Slovakia recently, and of course in North America. Very quickly, I won't go through all that. We're very thorough in what we do. We have a 29-stage process to make sure we end up getting our clients the absolutely right person. I won't talk you through all of that, but what is fairly instrumental, I think, is useful to see that despite the fact that it's a very competitive marketplace, despite the fact that it's hard to find good quality people that are interested in a move, our time process is pretty robust, and more importantly, our success rate is exceptionally robust, with 90% of the searches we lead on coming to successful fruition. One thing I did want to actually say to any of the service providers or VCs in the house today, I also am the host of the Leaders in Clean Tech podcast, which I created a couple of years ago. It's now ranked as in the top 2% of podcasts globally across all topic areas. And I interview CEOs and founders of startup companies and talk about their journeys. Christoph Osterman's been on in the past. A number of people that would, again, have graced the stage both today and on previous years. But talking about the entrepreneur's journey and how that, some of the learnings, some of the mistakes, some of the issues that come to light, and just an interesting topic area. And as I say, it's got a great deal of traction. So at the moment, I'm actually looking for a partner, or a commercial partner, or sponsor to help help us to reach an even greater audience, and again share more stories for entrepreneurs. Our audience is primarily entrepreneurs within the clean tech sector, or people that are engaged in the clean tech sector. So if you are a VC or a service provider that you're interested in access to an audience of that nature, please do come and speak to me, because the podcast is something I'm keen to continue, because as I say, it's important that we tell the stories and share the messages of successful people, their successes and their failures that we can all learn from. So that's me. That is pretty much my time up. We can all go grab a coffee. But Hyperion Executive Search, working, as I say, with primarily with post-investment scale-ups and startups to help them to find the talent that they need in order to succeed their own ambitions. Yeah, and I brought you back a bit of time. I think I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much.